Does today's Constitutional Court ruling on the secret ballot vindicate the UDM? Does the verdict compel Speaker Baleka Mbete to put the interests of Parliament ahead of her political party? Is it realistically possible for ANC MPs to vote against their own leader? And what would have to happen in case the motion of no confidence in President Zuma succeed? What time is it? It's question time. Khotsong and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. The much anticipated ruling on the use of the secret ballot to decide a motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma was made today. The Constitutional Court ruled that National Speaker Baleka Mbete has the power to decide on the use of a secret ballot for this pending motion. The UDM, EFF and COPE brought the matter to the highest court in the last month. They asked the court to give Parliament the go-ahead to vote the motion of no confidence in President Zuma through a secret ballot. Opposition parties have welcomed the verdict, with UDM leader Bantu Holomisa saying ANC Members of Parliament are free to vote and follow their conscience. The ANC caucus says it will give National Assembly Speaker Baleka Mbete space to do what is required of her. The ruling comes just a week before the ANC holds its National Policy Conference. We are live, and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210. Let's hope they'll be working in a very good manner today. Our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest today, Thapelo Tselapedi. He is from the Department of Politics and International Relations at the University of Johannesburg, UJ. But before we get into the discussion, let's have a look at what Chief Justice Mogoeng and Chief Whip of the ANC, Jackson Mthembu, had to say about this matter.
The United Democratic Movement's request for a motion of no confidence in the President to be decided by secret ballot is remitted to the Speaker for her to make a fresh decision.
Our first take of the judgment is that it directs the Speaker to consider favorably a secret ballot. Of course, we know that the Speaker can only do so through the Rules Committee of Parliament. When the Speaker comes to the Rules Committee of Parliament and says that here is this ruling of the Constitutional Court and can we look at it favorably, the ANC will not be obstructionist.
Okay, that was Jackson Mthembu, the Chief Whip. They're commenting on Chief Justice's verdict on the secret ballot vote in the motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma. Let's get into the matters. I think the Chief Justice or the Constitutional Court played it the best way they could. I mean, it wasn't in their space in the first place.
Yeah, look, I think it was an interesting judgment. I think for a lot of the political parties, they may look at it as a box with all sort of sweets from it and grab whatever they may like. But I think it's a very considered and balanced judgment that I think there's a lot for Parliament, particularly the Speaker of Parliament, to consider. And I think there were variables that the judgment gave as a sponsor for the Speaker to also consider when making her decision, ultimately, of what should be the form of modality around the issue of motion of no confidence.
So, well, Jackson Mthembu saying, well, the issue would now have to go to the Rules Committee and all that. I mean, these are processes which I guess they are wasting time in a way. I mean, the country wants to know, is it going to be secret or no secret? What do you think is going to happen?
Look, I think the most important decision-making center right there is going to be the party caucus. The majority party, that party caucus will have to decide and apply its mind on the judgment. I think there must be a careful reading of that judgment. But obviously, the previous decision by the Speaker that actually she does not think she has the powers to decide on the secrecy of the motion of no confidence, now that's been set aside. She has to then have a fresh or give a fresh decision as to what's going to happen. So that's going to take place. But what can happen is that the Speaker can reiterate these are the reasons why there should not be a secret ballot, or that perhaps let's have an open ballot. So I think there's still going to be a decision to be made, and I think we are likely to see parliamentarians then contest the decision. And if we are going to take what has been happening historically for the last two years in this country, where a lot of political parties have been taking government to court, we are likely to see then that decision being taken on review, if it is, or rather if it does not go favorable to what parliamentarians seek.
Nathan, you are in Swellendam.
Yeah, hello Mpo.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm fine, man.
Yeah.
Mpo.
Yes.
As you can listen to the judgment today in the court.
Yes.
According to secret ballot, and if you listen to the parliament today, Zuma has already decided that there will no secret ballot, because he said that they did vote in the past. Why so different this time? So he will give Mbeka the right away not to give a secret ballot to the people. But Zuma must just remind that is the people of South Africa that voted for the ANC. And if he think and is laughing for all the things that's asking to him, and if he think that the ANC won't lose 2019, he will laugh again. Thank you, Mpo.
Thank you very much, Nathan, there calling us from Swellendam. Well, I guess there are some technicalities here. Baleka Mbete is a member of the ANC caucus, isn't she?
Yeah.
So the decision, like you're saying, the critical player here becomes the caucus.
Yeah.
So what does caucus say? It says, okay, comrades, we resolve we are not going to misbehave. We are opting for the what?
Look, the party caucus is going to interact with the SG and whatever officials there are in the ANC and NEC with regards to what would be the directive given to parliamentarians as to how they should vote, given that if it goes whether it's going to be an open or it's going to be a secret ballot. Yeah. So obviously I would take it that the process is going to be such that a decision is going to be made collectively. The Speaker of the Parliament is then going to say this is what is going to happen regarding the motion of no confidence. And
you suspecting that there's going to be a lot of participation from the Lutuli House as well?
Oh no, definitely not obviously in Parliament.
Yes,
but obviously it's going to happen behind the scenes. Yes, at the level of the caucus, but also at the level of the Speaker of Parliament as well, because then she has to give a directive. Then the caucus would have to respond as to what should be the posture towards the directive, and in Parliament whether it's going to be a secret or it's going to be an open ballot voting. So I think all of those things are going to play out. But also, given that the judgment emphasized the rule of law, particularly when you look at paragraph 88. It also talks about that these things have to be justified reasonably so. So whatever decision that the Speaker does, it has to be justified, which also means that if people don't feel like that a debate has been had over whatever decision is made, it can again be taken for review at a court. So I think that's what's going to happen again. But obviously there's an elections here. People are aiming towards the December 2017 conference. So we'll see how that will obviously all play out.
Chililo, you are in Soshanguve.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mpo, and good afternoon to your visitor.
Yes, welcome.
Look, I want to make it clear so that all the South Africans must understand this. I've had political analysts really misrepresenting the issue of the judgment. Okay. Let's start by saying what the UDM was looking was never been achieved. It was clear that the judge says the separation of power prevented them of ruling or pursuing the legislatures or even the parliament through Mrs. Baleka Mbete to rule in favor of vote of no confidence secretly. That was ruled out. Unfortunately, the majority of legislatures are the ANC. And it is going to be very difficult for Baleka Mbete to take any other decision instead of exhausting all the processes, as we have already been mentioning, that there will be committees to set up and this and that and sushi and this and that. Unfortunately, what the judge says, we should as South Africans look this very interestingly, because we are also
Whoa, Chiro, there you disappeared. Okay, you were still developing your point there. But we're taking your calls, 089-110-4210. Right now, we take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue this discussion. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What do you think? Whose victory is this outcome, the Constitutional Court outcome? Whose victory do you think this is? The ANC, the UDM, or the country? This is question time.
If you ask this pretentious mixologist what is needed to make the ultimate cocktail, she'd say, a thorough knowledge of science. Ooh, right in the face. Yes. If you asked us, we'd say it's less about science and more about, well, chemistry. Tops at Spa. Good spirits, good advice, no rocket science.